Hi guys, welcome back to this channel. I am Darian, and I did not think I would be back here today talking about another destiny swapping video. So the video that I'm going to be doing today is on the topic of obsession. They're obsessed with you. Now, before I go any further, this is not like a video talking about diagnosed, clinical mental disorders or anything like that. This is speaking from a spiritual level where I have had my own revelation in my own life, and I'm able to share wisdom and experience from the situations that I have faced in my lifetime and the things that God has allowed me to see, in certain people around me. And I'm sure you probably have seen some of these things in your life. So y'all, let's just go ahead and get into it. You may or may not have seen my first video that covers destiny swapping that I did probably about a year ago. I actually was shocked to see how many people have also experienced this. I'm not really shocked, but like sometimes when you have gone through certain situations and you speak to people like that are around you that they may not even realize because they haven't gone through those things, but it can make you feel like you're the only person that has experienced this. Or some people may actually know that you've experienced this, but they gaslight you to make you feel like, oh, ain't nobody obsessed with you. It's not that serious. No, it's not that serious for you because that hasn't happened to you, because for what, maybe you don't got the juice or whatever, okay? And I want to make this clear. This is not one of those hater videos that everybody is hating on you and this and that. No, but there are some very serious situations that can come up in a person's life if you are not careful, if you are not discerning, and if you are not making the right choices, can lead to detrimental effects down the line by not pinpointing that this is this is that, this is this in a person, and moving accordingly. So let's go ahead and get into the video, y'all. So if you are somebody, even if you haven't come into the knowing of who you are yet, I didn't know who I was, not even just as a person, but as who God has called me to be spiritually and all these things until my 20s and not even my early 20s. My mid 20s is when I started to awaken to who I am and the different gifts that I have and things like that. But a lot of times when you are a person who is highly gifted, when you are a person who is anointed, when you are a person who is what they call chosen, there's so many different terms and names. I'm not about to, go back and forth about what is what. I know some people don't want to believe that chosen people exist, but the reality is it's in scripture that many are called but few are chosen. And a lot of people that are actually chosen, if you are truly chosen, you have gone through some things in life. You have suffered some things that the average person, when you tell them the things that you have faced, they probably will think you are nuts. They probably will think that you are out of your mind and that you're in some fairy tale land and these things have not really happened. And this is going to be one of those videos, if you know, I don't even have to go into explaining it. If this is for you, you'll just know, it will resonate with you. But there are some people that, if you're not on the same wavelength, they think you're nuts. And it's not necessarily that they're all trying to make you feel bad, or a lot of the people that you've encountered are trying to make you feel bad, but they don't get it. They don't understand. You are fighting a war. You have been awakened to a lot of things that most people, they walk past and don't even see the intricate spiritual details of a situation. But you can look at a situation and be like, this happened because of this and this and this and this. You can see it from a different lens. It's like God has given you a spiritual lens to see things for what they are. And so as I've gotten older, it's become okay, I get it now. I can't really expect everyone to understand what I understand or to see things how I see, because they just may not have been gifted to see things on a deeper level. I see this on TikTok a lot. Like, I'll see a video, and let's just say this, for example, in the video, there's a couple, and you can clearly see that one person in the relationship, like, does not really love the other person. Like, you may be able to see it like clearly, like through the screen. You can even probably, if you're gifted, some people are gifted to feel situations, like they can feel what's really going on in a situation. And so you may be able to clearly see, like, this person does not love this person, but this person loves this person, and this is not going to end well. But people will be in the comments like, oh, this is such a beautiful love. And granted, just because you see something don't mean you need to say something. So I can see it all the time. Like, I can see what the people that are using their gift of discernment, I can see what they see. But I feel like sometimes just keep your mouth shut. It does, just because you see it don't mean you need to say it, okay? And so I'll see other people be like, you need to stop judging them. They're in love. This is a beautiful love. I'm wishing this love on myself. And I'm like, you don't want to wish that on yourself. You don't know what's really going on behind the scenes. I know you saw the video of the kisses and all of this not, but okay. So when you have been given this gift of discernment to be able to see things, some people may actually, they don't see it. And so you have to understand that you are operating from a different place. You have been put here with this gift for your specific calling and where you're going in life and what you're going to be doing. And when I say calling, I don't mean something that has to be in the church or religious. You could be a fashion designer. That could be your calling. And the people that you're going to be around, the business decisions you're going to have to make, you need that gift of discernment, because if you don't use your discernment, you could end up getting got later down the line, okay? And that, I know that might be a little extreme, but that's just an example of why certain people have certain gifts, because your calling is going to require you to need to be able to see beyond what is being shown to you. Everything is not always what it seems. So this topic is something that has been brought back to my spirit to speak about. And more so today, I'm going to talk a little bit more into, I guess, kind of like, it still has to do with, people maybe wanting a destiny swap or that topic, but more so into like people that have an obsession with your life, people that are obsessed with you and want to essentially be you. They want to take your life. And I don't necessarily mean like physically they're trying to take you, but it can actually lead up to that in extreme cases. Like, if you continue to allow certain people in your life, and it's really the spirits and the people in your life, it can actually end up to that situation. I feel like it happens consistently shown on the news. You'll see somebody, their friends hated them, were jealous of them, and things didn't end up good. And now some cases, the friends are now embodying what the person used to be and how they used to dress and talk and act. The friends now are living essentially the life that they were living, before everything happened. And every situation is not the same. So it's not to say that just because, a situation like that happened, that it was always a case of someone trying to destiny swap or, anything on that level. But recently, God has given me revelations on certain people that he has actually told me to get out of my life. And if you have heard from God for your life, sometimes when God tells you to do things, or he says things like, stop talking to this person, cut this person off, this person is not meant to be in your life any longer, our human nature is to question. And you may not even believe that you're hearing from God. And to be honest, sometimes people may not actually be hearing from God. They can be hearing from other things. But if you know that you have heard God tell you to get somebody out of your life. I think sometimes people, because we're so conditioned to believe that everybody has good intentions towards us, sometimes people believe that we're just supposed to be like, oh, friends with everybody, lovey-dovey with everybody. But the reality of life in the real world, people are not lovey-dovey. Yes, there are some people, but it's very few truly just good-hearted, all around good-hearted people. The average person that you meet is not going to be like this overly good person, or they may present their good part. We all present, or well, not all. We are taught to present the better parts of ourselves to other people. So yes, we're going to be meeting the representative of a lot of people each and every day as we maneuver going out in the real world. But the reality is that we all go home at night. We all have our real lives at home. When we all go home at night, we all go home at night. And whatever life you live is the life you live. So yeah. But anyway, I was in a time in my life where God told me to cut a person out of my life, and I didn't understand. I'm thinking like, oh, maybe I just heard wrong, or like that human part of us which thinks we know everything and we know what's happening in our life, and the pride of feeling like, no, I've known this person for this long. There's no way I need to cut them out of my life. There's nothing I should be suspecting that's dangerous about this person, or that this person did something bad to me. And I specifically remember this day, and I didn't like rush to do it because I kind of felt like I would look crazy to just to just like cut, like just out of nowhere. Oh, I'm just cutting a person out of my life, and I didn't see the evidence of anything that they have done to me. But it's funny how when you actually get somebody out of your life, you're able to look back and realize they really weren't for you. They really were obsessed. They really were trying to be you. It just was in a very like secret, sinister way. The gift of discernment is a blessing. I know a lot of people, I have heard them say that they feel like it's a curse. It's such a blessing, because imagine never being able to see the truth behind a situation and just having to succumb to just never knowing the truth. Instead of just, yeah, you may be hurt by knowing the truth, but at least you have that chance to make a decision on how you want to move forward with life. So anyway, I didn't immediately run to cut the person off, because it was kind of like, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna do? And at that part of my life, I wasn't really like fully able to speak up for myself. Like I was still like learning to speak up for myself and stuff like that. And so I kid you not, again, I was questioning like, maybe I didn't hear God, or maybe I heard wrong. I kept seeing things related to the person. I kept seeing things and people like that had to do with the person, like the vicinity of the person. And so I felt in my spirit, like I was convicted in my spirit, like, okay, I gotta do this. Like I gotta figure out how to just do this. And that's when I started like my obedience walk and really getting close to God and in relationship, like really having a relationship and learning his voice and all that. I finally do it. And I still didn't have the why. I didn't have the clarity of why. I just knew that this was somebody that has been in my life for a while. And so, it's easier to kind of like just cut somebody off when they directly have done something to you and you quickly can see the evidence, then and there. But now for God to be like, cut this person off, and yeah, that's what I said. Now do it. And you don't really, you don't really have like physical evidence to like tell people. And to be honest, it's really nobody's business. That's between you and your relationship with God. But you can't really come out and give out this concrete evidence. And yes, there are times where he will tell you to do things and he won't immediately tell you why until until you do it. So after I did it, there was somebody in my life that's like truly gifted. Like I'll just say they're truly gifted, and everything came out. Everything was revealed. Even after that, I kind of like questioned like, okay, that could have been wrong, or because when people do you dirty, most people are not going to come out and be like, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did you dirty. This is what I did to you. And the crazy part about it is what was done to me. The person had seen somebody else do to me and saw it hurt me. And so they were just waiting for the opportunity to pounce. And I don't care if they go to church every Sunday. You have to remember that people are able to be used for good or evil. And everybody's heart can change at any moment. It doesn't matter how long they've known you. It doesn't matter how cool y'all have been. You have to be okay with people changing. Now I get why people say people are in your life for a reason, for a season, and this different sayings and whatever. And in my mind, I used to think because I've known a person this long, that means that this is meant to be like long term. I thought from a very naive perspective, and I also kind of grew up where I didn't really have the expectation that people would do me dirty. And I'm just talking about all around. Now that I've grown and like have gotten to the real world and gone through more real world experience, I realized that you gotta protect yourself. The real world out here, I feel like a lot of people know this, like especially if you've grown up in really harsh environments. I realized that there are a lot of people who get people, like they understand it's a cold world out here, okay? Nobody really is coming to try to save you. And again, those are probably people who have discernment, who have been through some things and seen some things and now understand, because back then I didn't understand. I thought just how like I can see how people would think that you're crazy or this or that by what you've experienced. I now understand why, because they just haven't been opened up to certain situations and things. So anyway, fast forward, life goes on. After things were done, I felt fine and was ready to move on with my life. Nobody is going to stop me from living my life and having joy. And I've just accept that the things that have happened. I have learned and grew from them. I used to be a person that felt like because I knew somebody, they needed to know every detail of my life and they could be in my life, and never thought to check, double check, and fact check and all these different things when it comes to people. But now I see life differently because of the experiences that I have gone through and the things that have happened to me. I see life from a different perspective, and I'm able to take those experiences, and now I'm wiser. Now I'm able to move differently when I come across other people or as I'm operating throughout the world. Now, I am a person who God speaks to me a lot in dreams. He has shown me a lot of things that have happened and that were going to happen in my life, and shown me the true character and the heart of how people have felt about me and how they really feel about me, beyond the smile that they give, beyond what they show. And that's where the discernment ties back in. When you have people in your life, you have to have discernment, because the person that you think it loves you could be the person that is just studying you. They want to be you, and you don't even think about it. Like in the Destiny Swap video, I talked about this, how it starts with little things. You have a certain nail color you like to wear. Now this person never wore nails before, and they wear that nail color all the time now, like you do. You have a certain hairstyle that you like to wear. They slowly start to shift into that hairstyle. You like to dress a certain way. Now they slowly start to dress a certain way, until one day you look up and you're looking at a mirror because you were not paying attention to all the signs. Some signs, some red flags that were given are not just like blatant in your face. Now where I'm at in life, I realize it shouldn't take things to go to extreme levels for me to be able to notice that something is not right with this situation. Something is not going right with the situation. So I need to move based off of that. So anyway, over time, moved on with my life, minding my business. I noticed that I would have these like dreams and specific people, and not even just with one person, specific people. This is why you need to be tapped in with God, because he will show you what you need to know, okay? I'm gonna leave it at that. You need to be tapped in, okay? If you dream, you need to seek him about what these dreams mean, and really dive deep into what he is showing you. So I started to have these like really, it felt weird because I'm like a person, like once something is done, it's done. Like leave me alone, like it's over. Like if there's no resolve, no nothing or anything, I just move on with my life. Like, what am I, what are we waiting around for? So I started to see that God was showing me all the different like schemes this person still has in their heart. They still have it out for me. It's like they want to get back at me for getting away or something. Like, he has actually told me that the person is obsessed with me. And again, you know how you can hear things or things will be revealed and you don't necessarily fully believe it. You may think like, oh yeah, I heard this, or that's what was said, but you don't believe it until until you start to see stuff manifest in the natural. So over time I would continue to have these like dreams with all this person trying to do demonic stuff, the person trying to be in my space. Everything that I have, this person is trying to prove that they have it now, and they're trying to prove that their life is good now that I'm out of their life. And truly in the dream I'm able to see it's not what they're trying to show. And I haven't even been seeing the person in real life, but I'm seeing like they're still trying to pull on my energy. They're still literally, now I see, really obsessed and mesh themselves in my life. And again, when things are revealed to you spiritually, there should be some kind of evidence in the natural. But to be honest, sometimes it may take a while for that evidence to pop up or show. But I have seen, like, when God has shown me stuff, it starts to prove in the natural. Like, I start to see like the signs in the natural. Also, you also have to use discernment with your dreams, because just because you have one bad dream about somebody, that could have been the enemy trying to influence that dream to make you not like a person or something like that. But you have to use discernment and wisdom and know truly when it's from God or it's from other influences. And so years had gone by and I was like literally in like a whole new phase of my life. But I would still have these weird, eerie dreams. It felt eerie because I feel like sometimes people may be like, oh, they're obsessed with me and they like it. That is a person who may still have to work on their self-esteem, because when you really have somebody that is obsessed with you, or just like they just are like captivated by you and all this stuff, and not in a good way, I'm talking about in a scary way, that does not feel good. That actually feels very like uncomfortable and eerie, and you never know the minds of people. One of the stories that I think back to is the story of Selena, the singer. That alone, that showed me you can't be trusting people, especially somebody in your life that presents as a, like, they have that energy where they're like obsessed with you and just constantly flattering you and things like that. You have to look out for stuff like that. That is the quickest way to get somebody to let their guard down. When somebody gives you a compliment, what do? Oh, thank you. You let your guard down. And everybody that gives you a compliment is not trying to hurt you or obsessed with you or anything like that, but you have to be able to keep up with different signs. Some stuff starts to feel unnormal or it's weird, or you start to see that a person only wants to know all the details about your life, but when you ask them about their life, they reel it back to you. That is not normal. That is not a relationship that is reciprocal. Why do you just want to know every detail about my life, but when I ask you something, or I'm like seeing how you're doing, you never want to give me any details? You're so focused on me. So there's certain things you should watch out for. To kind of give you a hint that this person may be obsessed. This person may want to be you. Okay? All right. So I had already been told, like, the person is obsessed, but again, sometimes you don't believe something until you see the physical evidence of it. But I kind of still, like, in my spirit already knew and could feel it, and it just was like, I think for a time period I honestly really was not thinking about it, but as time like got to a certain point, it's like God was like showing me, like warning you, like dream here, dream here, dream here, dream here. And it's basically like the same warning, but it's like in different ways. Like they're obsessed to try to prove to you that their life is good now that you're out of it, but it's really not what it seems. And another time they're trying to apologize to you, but again, the discernment comes in. I could feel that the spirit of the person was not sincere in the apology in the dream and trying to convince me that they've changed and become a better person. So it's like back to back to back to back, just alarming things happening. And then one day I am driving, and I am somebody who lives kind of like, I'm not secluded where I'm like away from people, like I can't have any neighbors or I can't reach any neighbors or anything like that. I'm not secluded in that way, but I live in a very kind of secluded area. So the person had already knew where I lived, and I've been here for years, like years at this point. So this is not a new area for me. They were actually in my place when I first moved and stuff like that before I found out, you know, about everything. So I am leaving like a store like near where I live. Where I live, the person had not lived over there. Where I live, honestly, I have been kind of in the vicinity of the area for over, not exactly where I live, but I have known this area for over 15 years. So it's an area that is comfortable for me. It's an area that I've known for a while. But the person was not living in the area. The person, because I was over here and knew about different places over here and stuff like that. So I'm leaving the shopping center one day, and I see the person come down the road that I live. Not a road that's like in the main part of the city where people are just constantly just there just to be there. Like, you need to know somebody that live in the area, or you need to, I wouldn't even say have to have an appointment in the area, because it's really not businesses like deep down that road. Like, it's residential. And so there's no reason for this person to just be driving down the road. And so I actually had a dream, and I'll open up about this dream because I want to show you that God will allow you to see something, and then he will confirm it in the natural. So I was having a dream where I was like happy, like I'm like moved into this new apartment or something. Or I don't even remember if the apartment was new, honestly. I just know it felt like a new space, or it felt like a good space. I was comfortable, I was happy in the space. And then this person ended up getting a place in the apartment near me. And then I just remember being in like the, you know, if you live in an apartment complex, in the complex, they have like this common area where people can come and hang out, like kind of like the pool area. It was like I was in like a room, like in an area like that. Then I saw the person there, and I'm not going to go into the further details, but it was just like, why are you here? It just made me uncomfortable. And it was just like, why are you here? Okay, that was a dream. So maybe a couple of months later, again, God had told me obsession. The person is obsessed with you. And I had these series of dreams about the person, of like their plots and plans and schemes and their heart towards me and what they're trying to do. So I'm like leaving the store near my neighborhood, and I see the person come down the road. And to me, I'm thinking, that's weird. Like, either this person is like looking up where I'm at, like they're like trying to go in my neighborhood and like be in my space, but I'm not thinking they moved in the neighborhood next to me. That's would have just like made me feel like super weird. Like, this person is trying to now be in my space again. And maybe I can say like, okay, somebody I didn't really know like that, maybe they just randomly ended up in a neighborhood next to me. Okay, maybe I can say that. But that hasn't happened. That's not a common thing that has happened to me. Especially somebody who was in my life, knows where I live, knows where my coming and goings were, knows the area, has been in my space and all of that. You don't just magically, just pop up, moving next to somebody that you're ex-friends with, okay? I'm just gonna leave it at that. And that goes back to, again, it starts with little things. It starts with, now they want to talk like you, dress like you, look like you, but it can go beyond just that. It can go to, now they're trying to take over your space. Now they're trying to be in the same neighborhood as you. They want to show that they can do it like you, that they are on the same level as you. And when you're not somebody who is actively participating back in a competition with the person who is in competition with you, you have to understand that Everybody does not think rationally. And when somebody is in that state or place, you have to be mindful that just because you wouldn't do something or you wouldn't think to act like that towards somebody else, they may not think like you. They may not have the same rationality that you have. Something could really be going on internally inside of them that they have not dealt with. That is something that you have to take very seriously. That's not just something light that you just like, oh, okay, coincidental or nothing. No, no. That is something that you take very seriously. And yeah. So anyway, I see the person that they drive by, and in my mind, I'm thinking like, this can't be the person. This cannot, this cannot be the person. I know what car they drive because it's the same car that I have. And then also, I remember that they had a certain tag. It's not like a regular, tag. And I saw the same tag years ago that they had on the car, and the tag frame was the same, which is also not like a normal tag frame. So I'm like, this was that person. So I already felt weird like seeing that, but I'm just, like you want to like shake stuff off and write it off. Okay, maybe it was just this. Again, we try to make excuses, or we try to like be like, oh no, things are not really that, but they're really that. So days go by, and even though I felt off, like I felt in my spirit like off put, I don't think I really put in my mind, this person just moved near me. This person moved near me. No, it couldn't possibly be. And if you think about the just moving near somebody, like buying a home near somebody, do you know the process that you have to go through to actually do that? It's not just like going to buy a candy bar or going in the store and picking up this or that. There's an actual process you have to go through. Normally, unless you just got the cash like that and buying it, up front, for that to happen. So I have been in somebody's mind this long, for this many years, for them to think that it is okay years later to, I'm assuming, save up to literally move next to me, literally be in the same area as me, the same vicinity as me. When you really factor in that and think about it that way, that's a big deal. That's not just like a light thing for somebody to do. So this person is invested in whatever they have, this obsession, this wanting to destiny swap, wanting to have your life. This person has gone past just like little things, or like, minuscule things, like just trying to dress like you or whatever. And this has gone to a whole nother level. But anyway, so days go by, and this is what I mean by God will confirm a thing. He will give you the dream, and if you're still struggling with the belief or whatever, he will allow something to happen to be like, I told you, okay? Now trust me, this is what I have shown to you. This is what I've been trying to get to you all this time. I'll say it was in the same week. It was about maybe a week apart from when I first saw the person down the road. So anyway, y'all, I'm out for like a girls' night. I went to like this event or whatever, and I'm leaving my neighborhood. And I'm already like kind of running late. Like you have done your glam and all that, and it starts at a certain time. I'm just trying to get there. You guys, I cannot even, like, I even thought about it. Like, this couldn't have been like timed this way unless the person had the tracker on my car, which honestly, I just don't feel that in my spirit. But I feel like if a person is brave enough to do like certain things, they're probably brave enough to put a tracker on your car. I don't put anything past anyone. So I'm leaving my neighborhood, and then there's a neighborhood in front of mine. And I just see this car like quickly jump out in front of me. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, did this person just cut me off? I'm not even thinking like, oh, this is somebody I know. I'm just thinking somebody just jumped out in front of me. They were kind of still driving kind of like normal. And then it just clicks. This is that person. I see the same tag, and that is what helped me to like really see like this is that person. So I started to see the person like speed up really fast, like zoom. And I'm assuming that the person just did not want to be I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what was going on in their mind. I just assume they weren't expecting that, or maybe they jumped out on purpose. I don't know. I just know that the person started to zoom up, but by that time, I was close enough to where it like clicked, like this is that person. Like this person has literally moved in the neighborhood next to me, and it's so scary because the person was like with me to see all these neighborhoods and before I even got to where I live. So they knew where I was moving. They knew where I moved. They were in my place and helping me decorate and all these things. And you have to pay attention to the signs, because back then when I moved in here, then now they were saying, oh, I'm about to buy a house too, or whatever the situation. I don't want to go too deep into it, but the signs are always there. Once I saw that, I actually was kind of like on a whole nother level, like this this has gone somewhere that I don't have the words. Like, I need a sip of coffee. I need a sip of coffee. Even now, I don't have the words to really explain. Even though it is a very uncomfortable experience, it has taught me the extent of where a person can go. And again, you cannot measure things based off of they listen to gospel music, they go to church, they seem sweet. If somebody came off and presented as mean and not nice and evil or wicked, you would not have your guard down. But when a person presents themselves from a sweet place, a good place, that usually makes it easier for them to get in your life. It makes it easier for them to bring themselves into your space and do whatever in their heart it is that they have to do that is not good. And sometimes they may not even know. Like when a person is possessed by a demonic spirit, that person is able to be basically taken over. Like you can't really control what a person, well, you can't control what anybody will do, but that person has the ability to be fully controlled by that demonic entity. There's no way to really rationalize with somebody in this space. So you guys, I actually did not think that this would end up being basically like a story time of what has happened to me, but I want my story to be an example for you to see that you cannot look past these things. You have to use discernment, and you can't allow feelings to make you feel a certain way and make you not move from a place of logic and protecting your space, protecting your safety. And I want to make this very clear. Everyone that I've had in my life has not been terrible or betrayed me or been obsessed, but this has been a pattern I've noticed with some people in my life, because I've always been a person that has overall, even if we're different, I was a person that was very accepting of people with different lifestyles or whatever in my life. Like I could make friends with somebody who may not have as much money or may have more money. I just have always had the heart to like, okay, this is still a person. They seem cool. We hit it off. We can be friends. But that's not always the case. And I have found that the situations where people have started to like try to take my essence and have my essence and do what I do and look like how I look, usually there was a lack of identity in that person. They didn't know who they were. And so they felt like they could do these little things and start to become me. And I don't know if they really believe they can become me, but whatever life I have is like they want my life. And it doesn't always start out like that. It seems like it starts out innocent, and then over time it progresses into something that is not good. Now I have the eyes to see like things for what they are and the progression of where things have changed. And also I used to be a very like open person, like talk about my life and share things, but as I've grown, I have learned that it is wisdom to not share the details of your life with people. People don't need to know everything about you. People don't need to know what you're working on. They don't need to know where you get all your stuff from. Stop trying to help everybody. Stop trying to let everybody know where you got this and how you did this, and stop trying to bring everybody with you. That is what I've had to learn on my journey. And I want to point this out again. If you are somebody that people have gaslit you, like, oh, the experiences that you have had haven't happened, or it wasn't that deep, or this or that, I would once say, look at the person who is speaking, and what is the heart of that person? Does that person have secret animosity against you, and they're actually happy to see that what has happened to you, and they want to make you feel like what you experienced didn't happen? Or is the person they just probably have not experienced anything like that? And this isn't to say that they are not important or this or that, but I have found and I have seen, even with other people and their testimonies with their life and going through situations like this, a lot of those people are usually anointed, chosen, very gifted, highly gifted, or things like that, and have this light about them or something like that. And people can pick that up, and it is attractive to the demons in people. It is attractive to the spirits using people. And so you have to always take into account that this is a spiritual thing, and not take things from the natural, because if you take it from the natural, you may deal with it in some not good ways. But always be led by what God tells you to do. If he says get away from this person, move. If he says go to another state, or and I'm not trying to put fear in a person, and I'm not saying that that's what I was told, but moving when you know it's truly God and he says move can actually save you, can actually help you from something dangerous, can actually help you from something that could grow into something not good. So just protect yourself. And when I say protect yourself, I mean protect yourself by really opening your eyes and allowing yourself to accept that things are what they are. As much as you may want things to be a different way, you have to accept things as they are. When changes come to your life and it is time to let go of people, you have to be okay with letting go of those people. So you guys, I am ending this video. I feel like I have said a lot, but I wanted to get this out. I'm sharing this part of my life to help other people, to let you know that you're not crazy, that if you see something that don't look right, that don't feel right, trust like they say, trust your gut, trust what you've been showing, trust the inside of you. That feeling I get has not felt me, but when I have gone past that feeling and done things that feeling was warning me on, it has not gone well. It has not been good, okay? And the grace of God has kept me, but don't look past that, okay? So I thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you have a great day. If you have any experiences that you feel comfortable sharing, feel free to comment your experiences. Again, this is a if you know type of video. Everyone may not relate to this video, but those who it helps, I hope that you get what you need from it. Bye.